Hey guys, it's Jake here. Today on Flights, we're in Langley at Trading Post Brewing. Let's go have a drink.
When we moved back here and fell in love with the scene, we realized that there was really nowhere to go in Langley. It was a kind of a dark hole for craft beer. Surrey had a bunch of breweries, Abbotsford, even Chilliwack did. So we saw an opportunity to open a business here, and here we are a year later.
What's the story behind the name Trading Post?
We didn't want to call it Langley Brewing or anything to do with just putting ourselves in one spot.
Right.
But we also wanted to tell the history and the awesome stories that Langley has. Fort Langley is the birthplace of BC, so we really wanted to involve our community and our history here in Langley. And so Trading Post comes from the Hudson's Bay Company. So in Fort Langley, the Hudson's Bay Company had a trading post where people would come and trade furs and cranberries and salmon back in the 1800s.
Is that an important aspect to your brewery, the community aspect?
Yeah, it totally is. Community is one of our core values. You know, the trading post back then was a place where people gathered and could tell stories and build community. And we want to do the same now.
And supplement it with beer.
Exactly. Original idea was to have the whole brewery in Fort Langley. There was a lot of zoning restrictions and just a lack of industrial space there. We decided to move the brewery somewhere where we could have an industrial location while still having presence in Fort Langley. And so that was where the two locations came to fruition. The building that we have in Fort Langley is a full restaurant, and it's also a Trading Post replica building. So it actually looks like one of the Trading Posts that would have been built back in the 1800s.
Oh, okay. How do you stand out in a crowded marketplace? Because how many breweries are opening up year after year?
Yeah.
How do you make your mark on the industry and kind of stand out?
Tony Dewald's our brewer, and he's been brewing for 26 years. We're very fortunate to have him on our team. His ability to create innovative beers is what he does. And so it really starts with having an awesome brewer that is able to push that innovation. Even though we're new, we have a lot of experience behind us, and we're very fortunate for that.
What would you say the biggest thing he brings to the table?
He brings a ton of experience,
Yeah.
but he also brings a level of knowledge and passion for the industry. He brings fun humor to the brewery, and yeah, he's just a fantastic individual.
You know, in 1990 when we started this, and we were literally converting macro drinkers one by grabbing them by the lapels and saying, "Hey, this is better," you know. But what we would say to ourselves then is, just wait, okay? The people who now grew up with their father drinking craft beer and thinking that it's normal, they will start drinking craft beer too. Lo and behold, 22 years later, almost to the day, that next generation of drinkers came online, and boom, everything has changed. We went from a 7% market share now to a 12% market share, and we literally have almost 100 new craft breweries in the province because of that since then. People realize that this, buying local and small, all natural craft, all grain beer just tastes better and is a great meeting place to come and enjoy being out of your own house.
So do you think there's plenty of room for this industry to go?
Pre-First World War, there was 3 times as many breweries with half as many people. Okay?
Yeah.
I believe there is plenty of room to grow. At first, I was thinking about, in 1827, when the fort opened here, what kind of beers were they drinking, and how is that relevant to local? Well, it turns out that Langley was always way too wet and rainy to grow barley around here, so they had to bring in their beer from Washington State. Then I started thinking, okay, so there's been a lot of innovations in the farming industry. What kind of barley is still being grown anywhere in the world that was the same as the barley being grown then in the early 1800s that they would have made their beer from? So it turns out in Germany, there's still a variety of malting barley being grown called Hanko. Not only are they using this heritage malt, right? They're also malting it in the age-old, centuries-old tradition of floor malting. Okay? This is where a very large floor, 10,000 square feet or so, is spread with barley a few inches thick, and then a generation of people, they walk on the barley trailing a rake and turn it ever so much all the time so that they can adjust its moisture content.
Really?
Okay?
Yeah.
This is the way malting was done for centuries before, all this modern equipment.
Yeah.
It loses that connection to the heritage and the land and all this sort of thing, and I believe results in inferior flavor. That's still acceptable, but it's not as full, rich, deep a flavor, as complex a flavor as you can get using these heritage varieties with this heritage malting style. I feel very attached to that. I'm a farmer here in Langley myself. I think it's really exciting to be at that intertidal zone where we are here in Langley and get the opportunity to make beers like this that have a definite connection to farming and farming techniques and all these sort of things. And this is how I see, being proud of where I'm from and taking that flavor to the world.
Right. You talk about that sort of traditional approach of going to brew beer.
Yeah.
How do you kind of mix that with the demand for contemporary styles? Is it important to kind of balance the two?
Well, it's interesting that it's only in the last couple of years with this craft brewing explosion that I even have access to these kind of inputs, right? Now that there's more breweries buying more malt, the maltsters have gone, what other products can we give them? It's the most modern idea to use these ingredients that you could only buy now in this modern time. That's how I see it, my contemporary link to using these heritage ingredients.
Part of being in the beer industry?
My favorite part of being in the beer industry is people. The beer community is incredible.
I can go to a different brewery and say, hey, what are your challenges? What are you struggling with? And we can learn from each other. And people are so open about that, unlike any other industry, which is just awesome. We have a motto is tap into the local. And so we really want to stay locally focused. How we do that is by finding people that are from the Langley area that are passionate about craft beer that want to be here. It's by being involved in the Langley community and making sure that they know that this is a place that we want to set deep roots in, and a place that people can come and feel welcome and like family and part of Langley.